The odds on me getting this ice cream are pretty slim. As the old fable goes, when you cut off one head, he comes back as a badass robot. You've got red on you, Harry. It's 5 hours too long. Not if you're ready for it. All this and more on Cutting Edge Hero Live. Welcome to Cutting Edge Hero! I am the Nerd King, Danny Stewart, your host for this and every episode of Cutting Edge Hero. This week, I am joined by the sexy, the handsome, the muscular, the beautiful Landon Felter. Landon, say hi to the nice people.
Hello, everybody. I am not at all at my edge right now.
Landon, it is just a joy to have you over there in the captain's chair. But unfortunately, we have some big news for fans of the show. Landon is not going to be our technical director anymore. He's leaving the assigned job of man in the chair. But don't worry, he's not going too far. Landon, starting next week, will be the co-host of Cutting Edge Hero Live. So every week going forward, he will be sitting next to me digitally because he's going to be in a whole different city, but he is going to be on the show with us. And taking his place in the chair is our new friend, Randy. Randy, say hi to the folks.
Hello, folks.
So that is Randy. He is taking over as technical director. I'm very happy that Randy and Landy rhyme, so that that won't mess up the flow of at least my part of the show at all. So that's a good feeling. Now, you also may be noticing a new logo up in the top right corner of the show. And that is because we have officially joined Dat Feelin' Podcast Network, a group with some great friends of mine. We have been circling each other like two cats in heat for over a year now. And we finally decided to settle down and put our corkscrew phalluses inside of each other. I don't know what the analogy I'm going for there is. But anyway, we are happily now on the Dat Feelin' Podcast Network. Great group over there, and you should be seeing more from them and from us together going forward. Got all that out of the way. Landon, what is the nerdiest thing you have done this week?
Oh my gosh, I'm going to be honest. I really haven't done that many nerdy things this week because, like you said, I am moving. And for anybody who has moved before, it kind of sucks. But, you know, I'm getting it done, and soon enough, I'm sure I'll be back to all my nerdy habits once again.
So I have been on record saying I will never move again, and I will be paying somebody to do it for me the next time I buy another house. I am not packing all my shit up and moving it again. Someone else can do it for me.
No, I get it 100%. Never again.
I have too much shit. I just have way too much shit. And B, I would much rather just say I have people for that and go get like a burger and not worry about it. Randy, put you on the spot a little bit. What's the nerdiest thing you've done this week?
Well, kind of building off of the moving thing, I moved like a year ago, and just the other day was like, I need to get rid of some of my magic cards because I have so many and they're all not good. They're just common bulk. And I was like, I need to get rid of some of these. So I'll like try to pull the ones that I think I can sell for a little bit of money, and ended up just making a deck on the spot for Commander, which is kind of the nerd trap of looking through your cards at any point in time.
So vamping off of that, our human relations specialist, fact checker extraordinaire, and sometime Magic the Gathering champion, Ben Stewart, should be in the chat eventually. Ben, when you get here, say hi to the nice people. The nerdiest thing I did this week, over the weekend, my adoring wife, Katrina, who is in the chat, my better half, the best half, she and I went to Kansas City and went to Planet Comic-Con. There we hung out with some friends. We saw our good friend Ming Chen. We ran into our good friend Ross Marquand, as well as some of the agents that I've been working with over the last couple of years with cons and stuff. Our friend Maria Wolf, who was at Cape Con last November, she had sold out of this print when she was here at Cape Con, and I didn't get a chance to buy it. But she gifted me this signed Dr. Doom comic book cover print that I had been eyeballing for a while, and she was very happy to give that to me. You'll see Maria's signature right there. And then also this incredible Soundwave print, also signed by Maria. Let's see where she signed it right there. She is an incredible artist. I love seeing her, and she is a lot of fun. And God, she was like, nothing feels better than putting on a con and then going to another con, and then people who have been as guests to your con see you and they get really excited. That's a great sign. Because if I walked up and they were like, oh, it's that guy, I'd feel terrible. But when they're like, oh my God, how are you doing? That's a great feeling. And thankfully that's all we got. And it was awesome. So that is the nerdiest thing I did this week. Katrina and I also cosplayed as Light and Elle from Death Note. And I didn't have a Death Note, so I made one. So that is the handmade Death Note. I haven't written anybody's name in it yet, so keep your comments polite, or I might. But anyway, that is the nerdiest things I've done. Landon, do you want to talk about some news?
I don't know. What about you, Randy? Do you want to talk about some news?
Sure.
How about you fire those bullet points at me? Welcome to the bullet points. About a year ago-ish, they opened a One Piece themed cafe in Las Vegas. That, like I said, it's been very popular. I think it opened to coincide with the live action coming to Netflix, but in a collaboration with One Piece and Baskin Robbins, they are unveiling exclusive ice cream treats that will only be available at the Las Vegas One Piece Cafe starting April 1st and running to May 8th. Here you see them. Landon, if you'll keep that image up for just a second. We have the Gomu Gomu No Fruit Punch, the Luffy Suge Pirate Double Cup, the Zoro and Sanji Royo Yoku Sundae, nailed it. The Nami Kirakira Orange Sundae, the Chopper Sakura Amama Sundae, and Egghead Ice Cream Set. So if you find yourself in the Las Vegas area between April 1st and May 8th of the year of our Lord 2025, you can enjoy one of those treats, and then let me know how they are, because I'm probably not going to Vegas anytime soon. Moving along to comics, Weapon X-Men #2 has unveiled a new fate for a very old Marvel villain. Written by Joe Casey and Chris Cross, art by Chris Cross. They are introducing a new version of Baron Wolfgang von Strucker. We have an image here. So what they have created are life model decoys, which you know from the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and also S.H.I.E.L.D. comics and just Marvel in general. What they have here are Wolverines of mass destruction. And one of them specifically is getting Baron von Strucker's brain implanted directly into it, and he is being called Weapon Exile. So just when you thought there wasn't enough Wolverine in Marvel Comics, they give us another one. And this time, he's a former Nazi with adamantium claws, so that'll be fun.
It really does seem like every time they don't know quite what to do, they decide to throw Wolverine into it.
He is there is a classic, well, not, it's classic now, I guess. It's several maybe a decade old or so, but there is an X-Men comic. It might have been Wolverine. There's a Wolverine comic. Froggy Gaming in the chat, just popping by to say hi. Thanks, Froggy. We appreciate you. But there was a comic where I think it was an issue of Wolverine where it showed him getting up in the morning, running out to join an Avengers team, coming back, running out to join an X-Men team, coming back to the mansion, running out to join an X-Force team, coming back, running out to teach a lesson at the X-Mansion, coming back, running out to join another Avengers team. And it was like just a day in the life of Wolverine, because they've literally put him in everything. Like Wolverine is in almost every team up book there is. He's in 2 concurrently running Wolverine books, as well as all of the X-Men comics. That's a busy man.
Yeah, especially when you can milk him for as much as you can.
I don't blame him. Wolverine's the coolest superhero of all time. Our show is literally named after him. But anyway, I'm excited to see what they do with Baron von Strucker. He didn't get very many honors when he showed up in the MCU, and he has been around for a really long time. Spaceboy said, "This has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but I'm about to show how painfully Italian and Irish I am today in today's hit list." Yes, those of you who are not aware, the hit list this week, we are talking about recipes our family does better than anyone else. So get your 5 favorite recipes your family does better than everyone else together now, so we can go over them in the chat. Moving along to television, this one's kind of a big deal, and it's kind of fan casting come to life the same way that God, what is his name? John Krasinski. Thank you, Randy. Randy coming in like a champ. John Krasinski being cast as Reed Richards in Multiverse of Madness. This is very similar. In Max's new series, the reboot of the Harry Potter franchise, they have officially announced that they are casting Nick J. Frost to play Hagrid. Now, if there is not a better person after Robbie Coltrane to play Hagrid in a live-action adaptation of Harry Potter, I don't know who it would be.
Yeah, no offense to him. Robbie Coltrane set a very high bar. So I do not think he'll hit that bar, but my God, he's the closest we'll get.
I completely agree with that. Randy, what are you thinking about it?
Well, I was wondering why we were talking about Ed from Shaun of the Dead earlier, because I didn't know that was his name. But I was like, okay, I definitely see that. I can see him as a lovable groundskeeper.
Yeah. Kelvin Cately, the father of Dat Feelin' Podcast Network, in the chat. Kelvin, glad you're here. Jennifer Johnson of Queens of Nerddom in the chat. Glad you are here. Our good friend Eric Johnson in the chat as well. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. Let's keep this love train rolling. Serena Best of Nine Stewart, my first niece and kind of my little sister in the chat as well. Glad you're here too. Yes, absolutely. I can't think of a better person currently in acting, but certainly in British acting, to be the new Hagrid. It's kind of perfect casting. He is joining John Lithgow, who will be playing Dumbledore, and Papa Isidu, who is taking on the role of Severus Snape. There are some other rumored castings, but those are the 3 official so far. In movie news, Marvel announced the current confirmed cast for Avengers Doomsday. I say current confirmed cast because I feel like even though they announced 27 names, they're not done yet. But the current main cast for Avengers Doomsday, they announced in a 5-hour live event on YouTube that they also streamed on Instagram as well as Twitter. The current list for that, I'm going to run down it real quick. Emma Stewart, my oldest daughter and kind of my best friend in the whole world, in the chat as well. Thank you, Emma. But anyway, so the current confirmed list, there are some surprises in here as well. So I'll start off the top. Number 1, we got Chris Hemsworth as Thor is showing up. Vanessa Kirby's Sue Storm, Invisible Woman, will be in the movie. Anthony Mackie, Sam Wilson, Captain America will be in the movie. Sebastian Stan is showing up as Bucky Barnes / the Winter Soldier. Letitia Wright from the Black Panther movies, she plays Shuri, is reprising her role as Shuri. Paul Rudd is going to be showing up as Ant-Man. We are going to be seeing Wyatt Russell of Thunderbolts fame and Captain America and the Winter Soldier coming back, reprising his role as U.S. agent. Tanak Huerta, who previously played Namor in Black Panther 2, coming back as Namor. Eben Moss Bacharach, who is the Thing in the upcoming Fantastic Four movie, will be in it. Simu Liu finally getting some love, coming back as Shang-Chi. Florence Pugh, Yelena Belova, she will be in the movie as well. This is a big one for me personally. Kelsey Grammer is confirmed to be in it as Beast, so they are officially bringing X-Men into it. Lewis Pullman, who plays the Sentry in Thunderbolts, is going to be in the film as well. So I guess we can assume that Sentry's not dying at the end of Thunderbolts, unless it's an alternate reality version. Could be either one. Willie McCoy in the chat. Willie, what is up? He said, I think Marvel had enough slander and are bringing out the big guns. I totally agree with that. I think just the fact that they hired the Russos and Robert Downey Jr. for this one means they're tired of nickel and diming everybody and actually want to throw some money at these movies again. Danny Ramirez, who plays Joaquin Torres / the Phoenix. He was in Captain America and the Winter Soldier. Joseph Quinn's Johnny Storm will be there. David Harbour also showing up as Red Guardian, which I guess means he's going to survive Thunderbolts as well. Which for those of you who aren't aware, Joseph Quinn and David Harbour previously worked together in Stranger Things, so there's a little bit of a reunion there. Winston Duke is coming back as M'Baku, reprising that role from the previous 2 Black Panther movies. Hannah John Kamen, she is Ava Star / Ghost. She's been in she was in Ant-Man and the Wasp, or when it was Ant-Man and the Wasp, Ant-Man 2. She was in Ant-Man 2, and then also she is going to be in Thunderbolts. Tom Hiddleston is coming back, reprising his role as Loki. So I guess we're finally going to see what happened after Loki literally became the World Tree. Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen are both coming back to reprise Professor X and Magneto, which is really exciting because I kind of thought they were done.
Actually, yeah, that's news to me, and that's
they
hype right there.
They're getting older by the day, and Ian McKellen has said multiple times if they want him to reprise Gandalf in the upcoming Lord of the Rings movies, that they better get on it because he doesn't have much time left. But they are both coming back. We are getting our original Professor X and Magneto. Alan Cummings is coming back as Kurt Wagner / Nightcrawler, which is he's the original on-screen Nightcrawler from X2. Rebecca Romaine is coming back to reprise her role as Mystique, supplanting Jennifer Lawrence as the Mystique that we're currently working with. James Marsden officially coming back to be Cyclops in this film. This one people are excited about. I'm indifferent. I think that he wasn't great the last time he got. Maybe they'll make it better. But Channing Tatum has been officially cast as Gambit in this movie. One that I'm always excited about, Pedro Pascal, will be Reed Richards in this. And then one that we knew about it from the announcement of the film, but Robert Downey Jr. is going to be playing as Dr. Doom. So that is the full 27-person cast announcement that they gave out over their 5-hour live stream. Feel free to comment the most surprising ones for you guys. I'm with CJ Lovelady. I think Alan Cummings is the one I'm most excited about out of that list.
Actually, yeah, that's same for me. And then do you think he's going to have all the tattoos that he had in the last one?
I think they're going to go for, if I know anything about the MCU, they're going to go for a much more traditional looking Nightcrawler than they did in the Fox X-Men movies. You know, we got a much more traditional Beast with Kelsey Grammer in the Marvels, and I think that we'll probably get a much more traditional Nightcrawler, and I could not be more excited about it because of the 2 iterations of Nightcrawler we've had in live action, neither has been actual Nightcrawler. They've just been kind of an attempt at it. So I'm really looking forward to getting a good on-screen Nightcrawler. He's one of my favorite X-Men characters. But yeah, so that is the list, and that is everything I have for news. Landon, what do you got in video gaming?
All right. Nothing nearly as big as the whole lineup for Doomsday, but
what is?
Exactly.
Apparently there's a Superman movie happening too. I don't know. They've had some announcements about that.
Something about that. But yeah. Assassin's Creed Shadow has apparently hit 2 million players 2 days after release, surpassing both Origins and Odyssey launches, according to Ubisoft.
That is really good for Ubisoft. As we've previously discussed a couple of times, this was a make or break moment for Ubisoft. If this game isn't a success, they're going to go under.
Yeah, well, I still don't know if it's necessarily the best possible, or I just still don't know if it's enough to save them. You know, even Reuters was saying, hey, they're in really bad shape. So who knows? But in additional news to that, they also released the day 1 patch that made it so that shrines could no longer be destroyed. All objects involved in shrines were indestructible.
That will probably help it sell in Japan, you know, if you're not bastardizing their entire religion for funsies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
If anybody could tell us about how terrible it is to mess with Japanese traditions, it's probably Logan Paul. But you know, he's not on this show, so we won't talk about that.
Yeah. Reportedly, publishers are stating that they are going to continue the practice of delaying games that they think will be released around GTA 6's release date, so as not to be hit by that.
Yeah, that's a smart move. I don't blame them. Also, it would be a much more ballsy move to say like, "Hey, fuck you, GTA 6. We're dropping the same day." But I think that enough gaming studios have learned their lesson that when a new GTA game drops, you want to give like a week or two in between, for sure.
Yeah, and also if they're ballsy enough to try to fight GTA, they're gonna lose.
Yeah, that's for sure. While GTA is not my cup of tea, I haven't enjoyed a GTA game since Vice City. Um, I will say I completely understand how popular they are in the zeitgeist of American culture and video gaming culture, and it definitely seems like a losing battle to try to fight them.
Mm-hmm. And Kelvin, GTA 6 did get moved back, but all the publishers that were around their original, all games that were set to be released around the first date and then the second date and then so on and so forth kept getting pushed back as well. Probably because of what I said, they don't want to compete with GTA 6. So who knows how many games are currently just in the pipeline and not even setting a release date just because they're that scared of GTA 6.
Not this guy. I have no idea, but unless it was like Baldur's Gate 4 and all of the original team from Baldur's Gate 3 came back, I don't see a release ever standing up to that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it would have to be, oh, surprise, we're dropping a AAA title that's way better. I don't even know who that would be. The new God of War, maybe dropping concurrently with it. That maybe that would be a competitor, but I can't really think of another franchise. Or like we're doing a new Halo and it's going to be just as good as Halo 2. Not any of this bullshit that you guys have hated for years. We keep churning the games out anyway. You know what I mean? Like could be one of those, but other than that, if you don't have one of those on your hip like a katana, don't even bother. Just wait a week, wait 2 weeks to drop your game.
Exactly. Last bit of news. Game Informer is apparently coming back.
I saw that.
Yeah. The magazine company shut down last summer, I think. But yeah, they had shut down. They were recently bought by Gunzilla, and apparently they're going to be turned into their own entity, not having to answer to Gunzilla, but they'll be coming back with videos and the paper magazine and articles and the whole 9 yards.
That's crazy. Print media has been slowly dying throughout the years, and it is interesting to see how different formats have pivoted. Playboy removed the nudity from their magazine. Game Informer closed down and is coming back as a web-based magazine. So, anything to, I always loved Game Informer, but only because I got it for free every time I would purchase a game at GameStop, and never because I intentionally subscribed to a Game Informer ever. But they were fun little articles and stuff in the magazine, and I always did appreciate it. Billy Rhodes is in the chat. Billy, glad you are here. Kelvin Cately said, I will drop everything for a good Halo game. Well, don't worry, Kelvin. You can just keep holding your stuff. That's not happening anytime soon.
Yeah. But Billy, I still like print media, mostly as like a novelty when it comes to magazines. But hey, some people still like it.
Look, there's a ton of print media behind me right now. I obviously love print media, but like the magazine format is classically, it is dying. Like it is struggling very hard. Magazines have gotten thinner. We knew the end was coming when they canceled Wizard magazine. The day they stopped making Wizard and Toy Fair, we should have known. Like those are the peak of magazine publishing ever. And once they're off the table, what are you gonna do? Landon, is that all of your news?
Yes, that is everything from me.
I'm willing to bet it's nothing, but Randy, you got any news you want to discuss?
I don't think I have anything.
Fantastic, Randy. Well, I hope that these stories didn't just graze you. This has been the Bullet Point. Welcome back to the show. So Daredevil Born Again dropped episode 5 and 6 at the same time this week, in the hopes that maybe we'll pay more attention. I know that some people are happy with the way they're pacing the show. I'm not one of them. I do not like the idea that we are over halfway through season 1 and we've gotten hardly any Daredevil in it at all. And I know we've got Matt Murdock, who's technically Daredevil, but he's not using his powers, so we're not getting Daredevil. Like, he's only done a couple of Daredevil actual things. We got an episode where he meets Kamala Khan's dad in a bank, and he has a really hard time beating up one bank robber, which blew my fucking mind. I can tell you that. I was like watching Matt fight, and I was like, why is he having such a hard time with this guy? It was one-on-one, for God's sake, with a guy that takes on armies of people on, nightly for funsies. And I was like, well, maybe it's just like rust. Maybe he just isn't used to fighting people. And then the next time we see him fighting in the next episode, he did not have this problem. So didn't make sense with the storyline. That's not to say that I'm not enjoying Daredevil Born Again. I just want more Daredevil in my Daredevil show. Sorry. Jennifer Johnson saying, oh, Danny, no. Ben said, Ben Stewart, our human relations specialist and fact checker extraordinary, is in the chat. Ben said his power is being really good at understanding the law. That he is a really good lawyer, but at the same time, when the bank robbers showed up, I know they were going for like some tension, building up to the moment whenever he finally gets to handle these guys face to face. Obviously, Matt's dealing with his dual identities between being lawyer by day, Matt Murdock, and vigilante by night, Daredevil. But that whole fight, I don't know. I was underwhelmed by it. And Jennifer Johnson said he was holding back. Jennifer, I strongly disagree. He had a mask on. The guy couldn't see who he was. And he was already fighting him. So there's really no reason to hold back. And then he broke the guy's leg. I don't know. It just seemed like Daredevil was having a really hard time for no reason in that fight. I get it. They're trying to build the tension or whatever, but I just think it's really poor writing. I think they could have done a better job. I'm not saying the show's not good. That's just a mild criticism I have of it. Seeing Kamala Khan's dad in the show again, seeing the Miss Marvel pop that he made himself for his daughter, I think that was adorable. The bank robbing stuff was okay. The tension was there. Obviously, they're trying to avoid having to pay the kingpin, and then trying to find a way out of this hole they're in because that particular gang owes $1.5 million to another gang, and Kingpin wants them to pay it, and now they're trying to look tough. I think we got a little bit of the old Wilson Fisk back at the end of the episode whenever he went face to face with a mob boss, and he clearly isn't scared. Rob Chantel Given says, any fighter who has not fought in over a year will dull your skills, but I do understand. Absolutely agree, Rob. You are not wrong at all. But his sonar super ability and 360-degree vision did not go away because he had some ring rust, and the fight very much did not show him taking advantage of those abilities. I will say I enjoyed it. I'm not saying I hate it. I enjoyed it. I'm just still, we're 6 episodes in and we've just finally gotten him back in the Daredevil costume. I really hope that episodes 7 and 8 really, really, really bring it, because if these next 2 episodes aren't just full on like balls to the wall Daredevil action, I feel like there'll be a real wasted opportunity, and it will look like another time that Marvel has built us way, way up for the return of an incredible character and then did not deliver. And hopefully they don't do that to us. Hopefully that, since they've split the season between, it was initially going to be 18 episodes. They're now splitting it between that. Season 1 is 9, season 2 is 9. That the ending of this season is going to give us the Daredevil stuff that we want leading into season 2, which should ramp up even further. But I just so far the pacing has not been good for me. I've found myself bored. I have found myself wanting more superhero action. I have found myself not feeling the tension that they were trying to give to us as the viewer. I think that there's been some successes in the series. Notably, I think Muse has been really cool. I think that the arc with the Kingpin trying to control his own demons while trying to be the mayor of New York has been really great. But when it comes to stuff with Matt, it's just, I feel like it could have been done better. And I think that they're not ramping up the tension the way that the Netflix series did a really good job of doing in its slower episodes. That being said, I'm excited. I still want to see it. I'll probably rewatch it as soon as the series ends. But Ben said, found yourself switching to Invincible to watch peak superhero content. I totally agree with that. My review of the season finale of Invincible was that it is just fucking mind-blowingly good. It is probably some of the best superhero stuff being put out right now, and I don't think that Daredevil Born Again can claim that title this year. But we will see. They do have 2 episodes left. They have an incredible cast. Vincent D'Onofrio and Charlie Cox are the perfect casting for those 2 characters. So who knows? They might knock it out of the park those last 2 episodes, and I might go back and rewatch it and be like, yeah, it was all leading to this, and it was totally worth it. But right now, boots on the ground, just enjoying the show. I wish that they were doing a little bit better job with amping the tension up. But anyway, we did end the episode with Matt finally getting back in the Daredevil costume, so we should be getting a lot of Daredevil stuff in the last, I think, 3 episodes of the season. But we will cover those as well as they come out. Speaking of covering things, this week on the hit list, we are discussing the 5 recipes that our family does better than anybody else. Welcome to the hit list. This week, we are discussing the 5 recipes our family does better than anyone else. Now, ordinarily we pull from media everywhere, but obviously this one is exclusive to your family and the foods that they make. There's no judgment. There are no wrong answers. But if you there are no wrong answers, and but if you claim that your family makes something better than my family does, we are going to have to meet in the street and fight it out, fisticuff style. Landon, actually, Randy, did you throw anything together?
I don't know if I have a full 5, but I have a couple that I can.
You have a couple? Okay,
Yeah.
chime in when you're ready.
All right.
No worries. That's totally fine. Landon, would you be so kind as to give me your number 5?
All right. My number 5. It's my dad's gumbo.
Ooh.
I don't know quite how he does it, but like he just comes up with like his own mix of spices and everything. Gets shrimp in there, he gets crab meat in there, he gets sausage, he puts the whole 9 yards in there.
Everything but the kitchen sink, huh?
There might be a bit of that in there too. I don't know. The spice is just perfect enough for it.
Dad, do you think this porcelain's cooked enough? Anyway.
But yeah, get that over a nice rice or something. Hope you get the bay leaf because that's always good luck. Yeah. Dad's gumbo all the way for my number 5.
I love a good gumbo, and if you ever find yourself in a position where you can invite me over for some of Dad's gumbo, please let me know, Landon. I want to feast on your family's gumbo, so to speak.
I will let you know. We make a lot of it, and there's always leftovers.
Yeah.
And Kelvin, I'm from Southeast Missouri. My dad's from Southeast Missouri. Most of my family's from Southeast Missouri. Somehow he's just really good at gumbo.
Yeah. He's at least really good at gumbo when judged by people who are from the same place he's from.
Exactly.
Will it do fine in New Orleans? I don't know. Who could say? I'm not from there either. I'm from the north. I grew up by Chicago, so who knows? But anyway, I know that we have got Billy sent his list in this week because it is so in depth, and we should have known that. Food discourse always gets wild on our channel. But Landon, do you want to start off with Billy's, or do you want to go into the chat?
We'll go ahead and start off with Billy's. Give people time to get their number 5s in.
Kelvin says he's from Louisiana, so he'll be judging your gumbo.
Come on, Kelvin. Worst case scenario, you get a bowl home. I will also go ahead and read Billy's introduction for me.
Do it.
Dear Landon, at first, I thought about doing all foods from Fallout, creating a very long and convoluted story and history of scouring the wasteland for ingredients, the importance of the recipe to my family, etc. I ultimately decided to include actual entries this time. Maybe next week I'll create a whole entertaining yet educational farce of a tale.
I should have known better than to take a drink right before you were reading something Billy wrote, but that's on me.
Yours truly, Billy. But that's... Oh, oops.
That part's private. Not anymore, brother. It's on the internet forever.
Sorry, Billy. So Billy Rhodes, number 5. A tie between my dad's fried chicken and my grandma's fried chicken. My father's fried chicken was developed for a restaurant setting in a commercial pressure fryers. It was incredibly crispy, delicious, and amazingly not greasy at all. KFC, Popeyes, all the shit fucking sucks in comparison. Raising Cane's, fuck you. People only like the sauce, and all you do is just fucking tenders anyway. Compare that to my grandmother's fried chicken. Her part of the family was from West Virginia, so she was really good at all the country style church type food or stuff. Her fried chicken was in a cast iron skillet on a wood burning stove. It was juicy, smoky flavored, and salty and greasy in the best way. Professional deep fried chicken and home cooked pan fried chicken are very different things and difficult to compare, so it's a tie.
Uh, both sound incredible, and I should have known to eat dinner prior to us doing a show where we were talking about food, because now I really want some fried chicken. Like really want some fried chicken. Like I'm starving right now. And unfortunately, I know now based on that description, whatever I get is not going to hold up to what my expectations are. So thank you for that, Billy. Landon, what else we got in chat?
Firstly, thank you, Kelvin. Jennifer Johnson's number 5, curry over rice.
I do love a good curry. A little flatbread, some curry, some rice. Nom 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 nom. That's perfect for me.
Yeah, curry's delicious. I've yet to have a bad curry.
I am blown away by how long people's comments are that they're still typing, and I'm really looking forward to seeing them drop. But in the interim, I am going to go ahead and do my number 5.
Okay.
I have, and I will put it up against anybody's. I have the best pancake recipe on the planet. My pancakes are soft, fluffy, delicious. You can eat them with nothing on them. They're great with butter. They're great with peanut butter. They're great with maple syrup. They're great with regular syrup. They're great with corn syrup. Like, there is no wrong answer. And I promise you, I will put them up against anybody else's pancakes and I will blow you out of the fucking water. And that one's a Danny fact. I promise you. Yeah, Hungry Jack can have all the words they like. Their recipe is bullshit compared to what I do. But yes, absolutely. Claire, my youngest child in the chat, she's had them. She's had them many times. They request them. The kids go nuts for them. And I will put them up against anybody's. Your pancakes are not as good as my pancakes. But yeah, Landon, I see we got another number 5 from Kelvin.
Yeah, Kelvin Keatley's number 5. I'm putting gumbo 2.
Dude, yeah, I love a good gumbo. We are very fortunate in that where we live, Jennifer Johnson says you're on. Absolutely. This first annual Dan and Jen pancake cook-off cannot happen soon enough. But we live where we live. There's a Cajun restaurant called Broussard's, and they do all you can eat gumbo on Tuesdays. And I can't eat much, but I enjoy what I get. It's one of those things, like, I can eat a ton of food, but for some reason gumbo fills me up, and it's probably all the rice. Ben also wants to compete in the pancake cook-off. That's fine. There's nothing better than watching your little brother lose to you. So this is good. This will be a good event. My kids are autistic and they even eat them. LOL. Yeah. Okay. Well, this guy's autistic and I think they're perfect. So if we're bringing the tism into it, I refined this myself. Anyway, Landon, what's your number 4?
Actually, we got a number 5 in chat.
Go ahead.
CJ Loveladies, number 5, jambalaya.
Ooh, I do love a good jambalaya too. It's for me, and Katrina did this to me. But the cheesy jambalaya gets me. Like a nice 4-cheese jambalaya. Look, I'm talking about Zatarans. I'm not talking about anything special. But I'm addicted to it. And unfortunately, our local restaurants no longer carry it. And so we just try to gussy it up ourselves. But yeah, a good jambalaya, incredible.
Yeah. So far, we've had a good amount of Cajun food in this chat.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's where the flavor is. That'll take us to Flavor Town. I see Billy also said that he would like to be in the pancake contest, not to compete, but just to hang out. Marble's in the chat. What is up? Glad you're here.
Marbles, number 5. I don't eat fish anymore, but my family's tuna noodle casserole lives rent-free in my head.
So there are varying degrees of tuna noodle casserole, but a good one is, it's I don't want to say it's one of the finest foods on the planet because I don't really ever seek out a tuna noodle casserole. But when you eat one and you're like, wow, that's surprisingly good, makes it worthwhile.
Tuna noodle casserole is not something I ever go for, but I've also never had bad tuna noodle casserole either. So
They can be too dry. I think that's usually the issue I have with them is that there's not enough like cream of mushroom or cream of chicken soup in it, whichever one you use for your recipe. But whenever it ends up a little bit dry, I won't, babe. When it ends up a little bit dry, it's kind of hard to get through. Requires a lot of drinking. But anyway, Ben says I will eat half a pan of tuna noodle casserole when Caitlin makes it. That's his wife. And then I believe Ben had a number 5 up there as well.
Yes. Ben Stewart's number 5. My mother's meatloaf.
Yes, Ben's mother's meatloaf is very good. Fortunately, she lives with me, and she made it just a couple weeks ago, and it was great, fresh. And those meatloaf sandwiches the next day, chef's kiss, incredible. But Landon, what do you have for number 4?
We have another number 5.
Oh, keep them rolling. Let's.
Space Boys, number 5. My mom and dad's orange cranberry scones with an orange juice glaze. It's just so good.
I believe you.
I think we're amping up the bar has been raised with that one.
Yeah. That did raise the bar. I made orange cranberry muffins at Christmas, and you could smell the smell was just permeating the household, and it's like such a pleasant aroma, and they're so good to eat. So I'm just viscerally remembering that, your olfactory senses are what trigger memory, and so I'm getting that immediately as you say it, and I would love to try it. I totally believe you.
I think that's everything from chat. Y'all are lively tonight, so if I missed anything, I'm sorry. Feel free to yell insults my way if I'm missing anyone, but I do think that's it.
Ben said Danny once ate mulberry muffins. That's a very funny story, and I'll tell it very quickly. Katrina says she made those at Christmas. Sorry, I took credit for your work, babe. I apologize. When did I make them, though? Because I did make some cranberry orange. It's okay. We can discuss this off the show. Kelvin Cately said, man, I can make a good scone if you oh wait, hold on. Man, if you could make a good scone, you win at life. Yeah, absolutely. CJ said, did he say we could lob insults? You absolutely can lob insults. Landon has
it's the internet. Of course you can lob insults. He's got
paper thin skin, but you can't see him crying through the microphone.
Oh, just wait. When I'm on screen starting next week, you'll see me cry
next week. Marble said, my family put Lay's potato chips on top, and I would get in trouble for scraping chips from the rest of the casserole. Interesting. We always use never mind. In when I was married previously, not to my wife, but my ex-wife, she had made some corn muffins and put them in a container and set them to the side, and we kind of forgot they existed for a little bit, and I guess you like moved them off the counter to like throw them away and then left them there. And I walked into the house. I was the only one home, and I saw those muffins sitting on the counter, and I thought I was eating blueberry muffins. And so I'm sitting there, I'm eating what is probably my 3rd or 4th muffin, and they were kind of dry, but I was hungry, so it was okay. And my ex-wife came into the room, came home, and she walked in, and she's like, what are you eating? And I was like, the blueberry muffins you made. And she's like, I didn't make blueberry muffins. She's like, I made corn muffins like a week ago. So what I thought were blueberries on these muffins were actually mold spots, and I had eaten like 4 of them. So don't recommend. I thankfully didn't die because I am allergic to penicillin. Thankfully it was a different kind of mold. I did survive. Do not recommend. Just throw your muffins away. Don't leave them out where some idiot who doesn't think before he eats can stuff his mouth full of them.
Danny,
Yeah.
are you telling me you ate 4 of these moldy muffins before and you didn't notice that they tasted off? I don't think I trust your food choices anymore. I'm going to be real.
That is valid, Landon. That's really valid. I am well known for just putting food in my mouth, taking a couple bites and swallowing. I don't really taste things, but I do know when something is good or something is bad. Yes, Ben is right. Bored, tired Danny after working 16 hours, just dragging in and getting a pre-bedtime snack. Yeah. The secret to good corn muffins is frozen orange juice concentrate. Trust me on this one. I will take that advice, CJ, and I will try them next time. Kelvin said, bro, your stomach has to be ironclad. It kind of is. It really is. I am a garbage disposal, and I can kind of put it away. 2 large pizzas is a snack for me. I just keep going. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Landon, I can't believe we're still on number 4s or number 5s. Landon, what's your number 4?
All right, my number 4. It is my aunt's jalapeno casserole. She brings this every year for Thanksgiving. It is delicious. It used to have the perfect amount of spice, but as she's gotten older, she's lost some of the taste. And you would think that would mean that she adds more jalapenos so that she could taste it better. But actually, she's well aware of her loss of taste. So she's more scared to put too much jalapeno, and it's actually milded out some, which is kind of a tragedy. But back in its heyday, that stuff was delicious. My sisters and I would just take as much as we could home before anybody else could.
I've never had a jalapeno casserole, so I will have to find a recipe and get that jalap in me. Jennifer Johnson said his stomach was knighted by the queen. That possibly. And then Billy said, was that an actual picture of it?
That was not an actual picture of it. I'm afraid I do not have any pictures of it. And I'm going to be real. It doesn't have like model quality. It's not something you would put on like a menu to show it off or an ad, but it is delicious. Trust me.
Randy, are we at number 4?
Yeah, I'll jump in at number 4.
Can you get up on the mic just a little more?
Sorry.
Yeah, thanks.
I think scrambled eggs that my grandparents would make, and I think it's more of a nostalgia thing, but like a good scrambled egg is, I've never been able to like make it the way they did. But they are definitely in contender for one of the best foods ever.
Okay. All right. I don't know that I would list just a scrambled egg in any of my like top 5 choices for food, but I've also never had your grandparents' scrambled eggs, and it sounds like it's hard to recapture the mastery that they had.
I think the trick is butter, but
just a shit ton of butter.
I think so, like more butter than egg, but I always overcook mine, so.
Do you know, did they use milk or water in their recipe to make it fluffy?
I don't know.
No. I know that the Billy Rhodes says, who is Randy again? Billy, I apologize. You missed the beginning. Ben, you as well. So Landon, after this week, is stepping away from his technical director duties. He is moving. He will not be in the neighborhood with me anymore, and he will be joining me as co-host of Cutting Edge Hero going forward. And then Randy is assuming Landon's position as technical director and will be the ethereal voice coming to you from the recesses of the internet. He may also be on camera as well. He hasn't decided yet. Ben says, how about a face reveal? No, not on the first time, not on the first day. And then he wants to know how much for a foot reveal.
For a face reveal, it'll be about $10. A foot reveal for you, Ben, free.
Ben does like his feet. Yes, Landon, what's your new address?
Hold on, I'll put my whole address in the chat.
Throw your social security number on there while you're at it.
I'm getting a new apartment in South St. Louis, and I'll leave it at that. That's probably more information than you even needed, but you got that much.
Okay. What do we have in chat, Landon?
Actually, Randy, Would you like to read some of these number 4s?
Sure.
He's hazing the new guy.
Mom's from Jennifer Johnson. My mom's pistachio cake.
I'm not sure even what the flavors in a pistachio cake would be. I've had pistachio ice cream, so I imagine it's something akin to that, but I don't know what a pistachio cake is. Gentlemen,
I imagine the same thing. I imagine pistachio ice cream, but beyond that, no clue.
I can imagine it, but I don't know that I've ever had one.
Ben, you son of a bitch. I see you. God damn it, Ben. Anyway, carry on.
Let's see. My dad smoked turkey from Space Boy.
I'm blown away that Dad's smoked turkey isn't Dad's Italian smoked turkey, Space Boy. So that sounds good. I enjoy a good smoked turkey.
Billy, don't worry. I will come all the way down to this lovely studio in Danny's basement to record episodes of Date Night at Power Noodles. Don't you worry about that. You're willing to come from Perryville. I'm willing to come from St. Louis.
Yeah, I'll also travel to my basement.
I saw one oxtail ramen. Where's that one?
Right here.
From Kelvin Kately. I've never had oxtail, but
oxtail
sounds
done
awesome.
correctly is incredibly tender. It is a delicious meat that it is really more like regional. You find it in a lot more Asian foods than you do anything else. But yeah, delicious for sure. I know Ben had a number 4 up there.
Yes.
My sister-in-law for Christmas makes a sweet potato casserole. This year it was a sweet potato trifle. It's with a real treat come holiday season.
You freaking dude, you guy. Who told you? What else we got?
Right here.
Ooh, smoked mac and cheese.
Ooh, that is a good one. Yeah, that is a great choice. The mac and cheese discourse on Cutting Edge Hero has been crazy in the past. I can't imagine it's going to get better. A smoked mac and cheese sounds incredible. I love a baked mac and cheese when it's done well, and the cheese sauce, it doesn't get too dry, and the cheese layer on the top is just perfectly browned and crisp and delicious. I think there isn't a better version of mac and cheese for my money.
King Ranch chicken casserole.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds really good.
I also don't eat beef anymore, but my mom's beef stew with dumplings.
I've never had beef stew and dumplings. I've had chicken like dumplings, but I've never had it with beef.
Mm-hmm.
I've had like a beef stroganoff or beef and noodles, like a beef and gravy and noodles, but I've never had a beef and dumplings. Anybody? Anybody on the over there?
I can't attest to this. No.
Marbles, I will take your word for it. And if you want to come this direction and make it for me, or just send me a box in the mail again, as you sent me these, this awesome book series that I'm waiting to break into, feel free to. I don't know how you would ship beef and dumplings, but there's got to be a way. What else we got?
I think that might be it from chat. Again, please let us know if we missed anything. Y'all really love your food discourse.
My number 4.
Wait, well, we do have Billy's.
Oh, go ahead. Do Billy's then.
Billy Rhodes, number 4. My dad's barbecue baked beans. My favorite part of any barbecue cookout is the beans. It's the measure I use to judge how good the cook is, and my dad had the best baked beans I've ever had. I do have the recipe that he supposedly used, but I've followed it and they always turn out complete shit. So he either missed writing down a step or left out an ingredient or two. Thanks, Dad.
Yeah, it was his love for you, Billy. That's the ingredient you're missing. You need to be cooking it for someone else. that you love as much as your dad loved you. Is that all of our number 4s?
I believe so.
My number 4, Ben previously mentioned, it is his sister-in-law, Katrina, my wife's sweet potato trifle. I hate sweet potatoes. That is a fact. And I have hated them my entire adult life until Katrina started making them for me. And there is nothing as good holiday-wise as a delicious dessert / entree as this sweet potato trifle. The angel food cake baked to a crisp golden brown, served with the mashed sweet potato, the whipped topping, all of the sweet potato pie spices mixed in there. It is just absolutely incredible. So if it's good enough to have appeared on this list twice, that ought to tell you how good it is. Landy, what do you got for number 3?
All right. My number 3, hands down, it's my mom's cheesecake.
We're going to have a cheesecake fight. We're going to have a cheesecake fight, Landon.
My mom, she makes it good.
We're going to have a cheesecake fight, Landon.
It was her signature dessert for a long time. And in fact, my top 3 slots are her signature dishes she brings to the family gatherings. People are excited for these things. People are disappointed if she doesn't bring them. The cheesecake, this is something that fell off a few years ago, but the other 2, they're still going strong and people are always excited for them. So cheesecake, gotta be my mom's cheesecake, gotta be my number 3.
I've never had your mom's cheesecake, Landon. I've never had anything that your mom has made, including you. We should fix that someday. The cheesecake, I mean.
Of course.
And you.
Well, you have me right now.
The cheesecake.
Cheesecake.
I mean, I would like to know you biblically, if you know what I'm saying, Landon.
Hmm.
Anyway, what do we have as number 3s in chat?
Well,
Oh, Randy, hold on. Do you have number 3?
Yeah, I think it would be potato soup that my mom makes. For the longest time, like, she would make it and it was awesome. It's real simple, but then I found out as an adult that most potato soup doesn't have noodles in it. And I don't know if that's true for you guys.
No, yeah, I don't normally have noodles in my potato soup.
Say, yeah,
Same
apparently
here.
she's been making it real wrong or different. But it's just chunks of potatoes in like a creamy soup. I don't know, with noodles, like wide egg noodles, and it's incredible. And I probably, because it's the only person who makes it with noodles, it's the best.
I've never had a potato soup with noodles in it, but based on your endorsement, I will have to throw some noodles, egg noodles, in my next potato soup. I have been very vocal about my hate for soups in general as a food, but I do like a nice chowder or a stew. And I think that while it is dishonored with the name potato soup, potato soups actually fall more into the chowder category and fall in line with my love of chowder-based foods for sure. Landon, did you have anything to say about the potato soup discourse?
I mean, I really had nothing more to add. I love potato soup. I've never had it with noodles. I can't see why it can't have noodles, other than some people might be weirded out about 2 different starches, but who really cares about that?
Yeah, you are ticking the same box twice. Landon, what else do we have in chat?
Willie McCoy Jr.'s number 3, sushi Alaskan roll.
I love sushi. I always overeat when we go get sushi. Like, I'll get 3 rolls for myself, finish Katrina's roll, one of Katrina's rolls, and then if anybody else on the table is sharing, I will have a handful of sushi rolls off of their plates. And I'm always just like, I don't think I can eat another piece of sushi, and I'm wrong. I definitely can.
Danny, have you ever heard of a place called Sushi AI?
I have. It's all you can eat.
It is.
I've not been yet.
It is delicious. You are penalized for what you order and don't eat. And my God, every time I go, I get stuffed.
Is there an upper limit where if I ate so much that they would give me money back?
No. The restaurant was started by people who got annoyed by people not finishing their food. And they're like, if we make it, you're going to eat it.
So my neighbors own a restaurant here in town. It's a Chinese all-you-can-eat buffet called Yummy Buffet.
Ooh.
And they have really good hand-rolled sushi on their buffet. And so I have eaten a lot of hand-rolled sushi there, but they have very basic rolls. It's like a spicy tuna, salmon, nothing too crazy. But like I eat a lot whenever I go there as well, and it is all you can eat, but certainly probably not on the level of what Sushi AI is doing. And I do need to make a stop in there.
Mm-hmm. You really do.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Like Homer Simpson.
All right. CJ Loveladies, number 3, smoked brisket.
Like when you meet somebody and they're like, oh my God, you got to try my smoked brisket. And they put a fucking brick of dried beef in front of you, it'll make you never want to eat brisket again. But when someone knows what they're doing and that smoked brisket they drop on you is delicious and tender and cooked appropriately, oh my God, brisket is hard to beat. I love beef in general. It's probably my favorite meat, other than yours, Landon. But I correctly, I keep wanting to say well done, but that indicates temperature, and I don't want my beef well done. I want it medium rare. But a correctly cooked brisket is one of the best things you will ever put in your mouth, other than you, Landon. 'Tis no man, he's some sort of bottomless eating machine. Yeah, that's the Homer Simpson. Like when he goes to the movies and they give him a trash bag full of popcorn.
Where was I? Kelvin Cately's number 3, smothered turkey wings.
That's the only part of turkey that I typically like is the wing and the drum. I'm a dark meat guy anyway. But yeah, you're speaking my language there.
Rob Chantel Gibbons, number 5, barbecue beans. Number 4, ribs.
Oh, we're knocking out 2. Nice.
And number 3, barbecue pork loin.
Those are all great choices. Very hard to beat.
Jennifer Johnson's number 3, Mom's Thanksgiving turkey. So moist and mouth watering. I can never duplicate it.
Jennifer, here's my question for you. I read this comment a little bit ago, and I've been curious since I saw you put it up there. Does your mom use a fresh turkey, or does she use a frozen turkey that she thaws? Because the only time I've ever had a turkey like baked at Thanksgiving that was delicious and moist and perfect is because it was fresh. Like it was a never frozen turkey, like not fresh. Like somebody didn't just like go out in my yard and kill a turkey, but like they sell never frozen fresh turkeys, like getting a fresh chicken at the store. And the difference is astronomical between one that's been frozen and unfrozen 6 times in shipping and one that only came cooled, never saw a freezer, and just is so delicious. And the difference is night and day for me. The first time I tried a fresh turkey, I was just blown away. I finally understood why people like turkey, because previously I just hate turkey. It's too dry.
I love turkey.
Yeah.
It can get dry, but I love turkey.
For me, for my fresh, perfect. Yes, absolutely. Such a difference. Totally agree. Katrina, my loving wife, said fried turkey is where it's at. I have enjoyed a fried turkey or two. The grease really does add a layer of juiciness to the turkey where you don't normally get it.
I've never had a fried turkey. I've only ever seen the videos of like
them exploding
them too fast. Yeah.
My brother-in-law, actually a couple of my brother-in-laws. So my brother-in-law Darren and my brother-in-law Sam both make a really good fried turkey.
I believe that is all the number 3s from. Yeah, number 3s from
perfect.
Chat. I got Billy Rhodes.
Though. Oh, I keep forgetting about Billy. I'm sorry, Billy. I only see comments. I forget about you every time.
Billy Rhodes, number 3. My recipe for toasted coconut tres leches cake.
Ooh, I do like a nice tres leches.
This being one of my favorite styles of cakes, I've spent a lot of time trying to perfect the recipe. I have never had one before that tastes better than mine, so that must mean mine is the best. One hint to my recipe is I actually use cuatro leches.
Ooh. Billy, I will volunteer to try your tres leches. Please do not hesitate to bring me one. Anytime.
Mhm.
Anytime. Marbles did throw in a number 3.
Yep. Marbles, number 3. My grandmother's fried chicken.
Fried chicken's hard to beat. I didn't put my mom's fried chicken on this list. It isn't in my top 5, but it is incredible. I don't know that it stands up to what Billy and Marbles have added in the fried chicken category, as I obviously didn't feel like putting it in my top 5. But there is nothing quite like a home cooked meal, and fried chicken is one of the toughest ones to beat, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Ben's got a number 3.
Yes. Ben Stewart's number 3. My mother's dressing. Goes with turkey and chicken or just by itself.
Mom does make a bomb dressing. Her dressing is good. It's good shit.
Mm-hmm.
My number 3 is our homemade donuts. My family has a tradition of making yeast bread and churning out hand-cut donuts. We tend to gift them to people after we've made them. But they are incredible. They melt in your mouth. They're probably better than anything you will get from any donut store. I've never had anything from any other donut shop that stands up to it. And yes, Billy, that does include Heckley's in Perryville. Their donuts are good, but not as good as my family's homemade donuts. Now, my grandma, this is the number, like all of them are good, but the number one best one, my grandma, when I was a kid, used to make potato donuts. So she mixed mashed potato into the dough and made these just insanely good potato dough donuts that would just blow your fucking mind. And she's not around. She passed away a while ago. But I've never had anything that good again in my life, and never will, because they were peak, like the top best donuts you'll ever have. And so I feel bad for the rest of you for never getting the opportunity to try them. And also, she wouldn't share a recipe. She never told anybody else how to make them. Billy said, I think Heckley's is way too sweet, too much sugar. Totally agree, Billy. Totally with you on that one. I just know that, like, anytime you talk donuts with anyone from the Perryville area, Heckley's has to enter the conversation. They're friends of mine. I think their donuts are great. I just don't think they're as good as what I make in my kitchen.
Space Boy put in a number 3. Space Boys, number 3. My dad makes Irish soda bread. That is to die for. Look, I'm not the person who likes putting raisins in things. However, this Irish soda bread is the exception for me.
I have no experience with any experience whatsoever with Irish soda bread. And I am like Space Boy, I'm of Irish descent, but I don't have any experience with it. So I will have to, at some point, try yours, if that's possible, Space Boy. That is... Billy said, dude, I don't give a shit about Perryville. I moved there. I ain't from there. I did not know that, Billy. I thought this whole time that you were from Perryville. I honestly did. I have no idea where you're from. I thought you were a Perryville native. All the years we've been friends, as long as we've known each other, which is over a decade now, I had no idea. Anyway, moving along, Landon, be so kind as to drop a hot, steamy number 2 on us.
Oh, always. As you command. All right. Number 2 in my mom's trifecta of things she brings to family events. It's her baked beans. She starts out with showboat baked beans, puts it in the pan. Then she adds brown sugar, ketchup, mustard, a whole bunch of other shit I'm forgetting right now, and makes just the best baked beans.
And is that an actual picture?
Yeah, as close as I could get. Yeah, it is. She makes baked beans. I have cousins who are disappointed when she doesn't bring her baked beans, and there's always none left by the time we leave.
I don't go out of my way to eat baked beans. I have a childhood avoidance of baked beans that I've never really gotten over. Even though I really, really, really enjoy baked beans as an adult, I still look at them and think, nah, that's not for me. And so I have to remind myself, like, dude, just eat the baked beans. But those sound incredible, Landon. Those sound really, really great.
Every time I go any other place with baked beans, whether it is somebody's house or one of the nicest restaurants, it's always a letdown. I try the baked beans and it's always a letdown.
Okay. If it's ever on the table for me to try these, I'm down.
Go right ahead. My lovely partner, Joey, even though I've tried my hardest, they just have an aversion to any sort of beans for whatever reason. And it is sad to say that this did not convert them.
My little brother Richard is the same way. Like from childhood, would not eat a bean, and still today, as an adult, he's 37 years old, but he will not eat baked beans.
Tragic.
And he's not 37 years old. He's actually younger than that. But I really like throwing a couple extra years on him because he's not watching the show tonight, so he deserves it. Randy, what did you have as number 2?
My number 2 is coffee cake. It's like like there's different kinds of coffee cake, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely.
They make one that's heart shaped. I think it's like my great grandma's recipe, and they make it at our church like every Christmas. They have like a homemade Christmas thing, and so you make like 40 of them, and it's like an all day thing, and just kneading dough for hours, or I haven't done it in a long time, but you basically make a big loaf, like twist it up several times, and then you like cut it down the middle to make the heart shape, and then you top it with like pecans and like maraschino cherries and green maraschino cherries. I don't know if there's a different name for them, but I have no idea anywhere else. Like I don't know why they exist except for this specific recipe. And
are you sure you're not talking about grapes?
I swear they're cherries. But they're very good. But if you don't drink coffee, because I'm not a big coffee drinker, you have to like eat them straight out of the oven, or they just like kind of go stale, which I think is the point to like, or not stale but dry. And that's kind of the point to dip them in the coffee, obviously. But yeah, they're awesome, and it's like a family recipe that we've done forever. And yep.
I'm going to drop some knowledge about myself that I never thought I would say out loud on live television. I am a slut for coffee cake. I would do dirty, dirty things to get a delicious coffee cake. And as I said previously, I should not have done this hungry. And now I would literally burn down an orphanage and murder a gaggle of nuns just to get a coffee cake right now. I am so fucking hungry. And that sounds awesome. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Landy, what do we have in chat?
Actually, Randy, do you want to read off the number 2s?
Sure. Number 2 from Kelvin Cately, red beans and rice.
Ooh. Yeah, the Cajun food in this is so like I just want like I'm all over the place right now. You guys are just throwing me left and right here. Like I want Cajun food, I want fried chicken, I want like oh, my kilt fell. I was wondering what I was stepping on. Anyway, I want Cajun food, I want fried chicken, I want coffee cake. My God, get it in my mouth right now. This was a mistake. I'm drooling like a mongoloid over here. I don't know what to do with myself, but absolutely red beans and rice.
Let's see. Number 2 from CJ Lovelady, Texas red chili made with brisket point from number 3.
I don't even know what that is, and it sounds awesome.
I mean, chili with brisket sounds insane, and like in a good way, but incredible.
Yes, absolutely. Totally agree with that. Does sound great.
Mm-hmm.
Jennifer Johnson, number 2, my mother-in-law's sausage gravy. Fortunately, she taught me how to make it. It's my favorite breakfast.
I don't want to speak for her, but Katrina's favorite food is one of Katrina's favorite foods is B&G's, and she loves them. And a good sausage gravy is the key to a delicious biscuits and gravy.
Claire Stewart, my dad's ice cream. He made it once, but it was so delicious.
Yeah, I saw a TikTok recipe on how to just make super easy ice cream, and it was bonkers how good it was.
I had an ice cream one of my friends made where it was like a real simple homemade. I asked him for the recipe, and it was like, I think it was just
Heavy whipping cream,
heavy
sweetened
whipping cream,
condensed
yeah.
milk,
And
flavorings.
I'm stupid. I got a thing of Cool Whip because like I thought that's what he meant. Like it just didn't register that heavy whipping cream, whatever. I just heard whipping cream, and it was very good, but it was like a paste rather than. I was like, I guess you freeze it and it like fluffs up or something. And no, it didn't. But it was still good, just not ice cream at all.
Yeah, so the recipe that I followed, and I've since seen one that's even better, which I have to try now. But it was 2 cups. Yeah, 4 cups sweetened condensed milk. Or no, Jesus Christ, Danny. Scratch that. Don't follow that recipe. Do not do 4 cups of sweetened condensed milk. That'd be so fucking sweet. It is 4 cups of heavy whipping cream. You whip it till it starts to make stiff peaks. Then you fold in sweetened condensed milk, and then if you're making chocolate, you add cocoa. If you're making vanilla, you add vanilla and some sugar. And then you stir it all together until it's combined, stick it in the freezer for 6 hours, and you have homemade ice cream that is as good, if not better, than what you can get in the store. The recipe that I have since seen, what I think will be even better, is that they cut back on the heavy whipping cream and add whole milk. And I think that is going to lead to a softer serve ice cream. And so I cannot wait to try that one as well. So it's something akin to that, and you can find it on the internet. It's like a big thing right now.
My friend added cookie butter, like biscotti. Oh, like so good. Like, I've never had that flavor of ice cream, and it was.
I went up to
so
Ben's
good.
house for like family Christmas. We did it in February, and he gave me. I didn't know biscotti butter existed, and he was like, "Have you had this?" And I was like, "I didn't even know it existed." And he gave me a spoonful. Oh my god, it's so good. I want biscotti butter on everything. It's delicious. Landy, where are we at in chat? Or Randy?
See.
Randy, where are we at in chat?
We got number 2 from Rob Chantel Gibbons, jalapeno poppers.
Ooh, a good jalapeno popper. Do you do cheddar jalapeno poppers or cream cheese jalapeno poppers? I won't wait for you to answer. The cream cheese is the better of the 2 options for me.
I think I've done like a mix of the 2.
Ooh.
Like, because I mean, my family is a big cheese family.
I'm a big cheese guy, but cream cheese first, I think, in this scenario.
Mhm.
But a little bit of cheddar mixed in with the cream cheese, that's gangbusters right there. That's Flavor Town. I need a spiky blonde wig so I can say Flavor Town officially, but that sounds great. Billy Rhodes, our resident chef, said that sounds more like a semi-Fredo than an ice cream. I don't know, dude. If it looks like a duck and it sounds like a duck, it's probably a duck. It seemed like ice cream to me.
Let's see. Marbles, number 2, a repeat answer, but Thanksgiving turkey dressing / stuffing.
Again, there is markedly different versions of that. Some great, some bad. I'm assuming that you fall into the great category, or it wouldn't be in your top 5. And it done well, turkey and dressing is incredible, and done poorly, it's disgusting and is only good for second day turkey sandwiches.
Let's see. Space Boys, number 2. My grandma's to my mom's to my own recipe for spaghetti sauce. Every Italian has a recipe. Everyone thinks they have the best. They don't. I do. Also, no sugar in spaghetti sauce.
Yes, Space Boy. Absolutely correct. I will die on this hill. Do not put sugar in my spaghetti sauce. Secondly, you know spaghetti is my favorite food, and now you have to make it for me. You have to, or our relationship ends immediately. Bring me the spaghetti, and no one gets hurt.
So we have seen the painfully Irish side and the painfully Italian side.
Mm-hmm. What else we got? I saw Rob said 2 cheeses, smoked and with my rub on it. Dude, can we all just meet together and make this food? Can we just have one big meal? I knew better than to do food discourse on our show. Anyway,
a
what else we
cutting
got?
edge hero potluck.
Yeah, cutting edge hero potluck. Absolutely. At the next Cape Con, we'll all get together.
Nothing more in chat, but I do have Billy Rhodes.
Hit me with Billy's number 2. If it's a semi-Fredo, I'm gonna be blown away.
Billy Rhodes. Number 2, Stromboli. Me, again. Philadelphia's other, slightly less famous sandwich. Stromboli is kind of like a pizza if you rolled it into a log and then baked it. Around Christmas time, I like to make them with sausage and red and green peppers.
I am so sorry. I was reading the comments and I completely missed that whole thing. Give me the cliff notes. What did he say?
Okay, Stromboli. Philadelphia's other less famous sandwich. It's kind of like a pizza if you rolled it into a log and then baked it. And he likes to make it with sausage and red and green peppers.
I've had a good Stromboli. They are incredible. I'm sorry, Billy. I ADHD'd for a second. My B dog, but yeah, I'm sure that it's an incredible choice. Marbles, yeah, some point in the last several years had a psychotic break and stopped eating meat, and hasn't since like 2005. And these meat foods still positively haunt her memories. Yeah, couldn't be me. I am a carnivore proudly. Couldn't be me. Landon, is that all of what we have in chat?
I believe that's everything. As always, hurl insults at us if we have missed any.
As I previously mentioned, I grew up in the greater Chicagoland area. I'm from a town a little under 2 hours away from Chicago. And if you don't know this, Chicago is a foodie town. Predominantly, it is a melting pot of a lot of different foods. But one of the things that people stand on business with when it comes to food in Chicago is an Italian beef. And my dad had the best Italian beef recipe that I personally have ever had. I've tried them in several different restaurants in the area. I've been to the best Italian beef restaurants that the Chicago and the Chicagoland area has, and nothing stands up to my dad's Italian beef and broth recipe. On Ben's been through his. Did you wait for me to do this, Ben? Were you waiting? Anyway, an incredible it is an incredible sandwich. It has to be on a Ganilla roll, which is a Chicago bread company. They're getting harder and harder to get, but there is nothing quite like them. It's the perfect tug, perfect mouthfeel, best bite. You got to put some you got to have your pepperoncini peppers on there, whether you get it dipped or whether you're just putting the gravy on it as you eat it, or au jus as some people call it. There's nothing like it. Some delicious Hellman's mayonnaise spread across the bread, the Italian beef, the au jus, the pepperoncini peppers. It will take your food experience to a level that you have previously never achieved. And every time that you reach that level again, the high is just as good as it was the first time, unlike most drugs. So hard to beat. Really hard to beat. Yeah. Anyway. So that is my number 2. Ben also put his number 2 in the chat.
Yeah.
It was my number 2.
Ben Stewart's, my father's Italian beef.
It's also my father's Italian beef. We have the same dad. Landon, we've made it to that point in our list, and I'm really excited for Randy to get to experience this for the first time. But are you ready to give me your number 1? Landon, you're number 1, please.
Yes, I will. But first, Randy, was that magical?
It was both magical, and I was waiting for like a weather alert to come after. Like it stopped being like a person speaking and became a tone, and I loved it.
Well,
Fantastic.
that won't be the only time you get to experience that magic. I also see Marble said Ben shot first. Yeah, you're right. Billy, in the perfect callback, wants to know if I can repeat that because he wasn't paying attention. Jennifer Johnson said that was longer than usual. I know it was Landon's last and Randy's first, and I just had to really, really send it,
Fair enough.
I'll always remember it.
But now my number one. All right. I talked about my mom's baked beans. Or get ready. It's my mom's green beans. All right. Base, bacon grease. Always a good base for a food. And then you add the green beans. You add the salt, the pepper. Again, the other shit I'm forgetting. I think it's a chicken bouillon cube, but I'm not too sure.
I'd never thought of that. That's if that is the case, that's genius. Carry on.
Chicken bouillon cube or just chicken bouillon, I guess. And like just mix all that into with the green beans. Again, I said that there's nothing left after the baked beans. There is nothing, absolutely nothing left after the green beans. Everybody's excited for them. Everybody wants to take some home. And it's just her best dish. It is, if she's known for anything, it's that.
Okay. Well, now I have often said, and I mean it when I say it, green beans are nature's French fry. It is my favorite vegetable. And there are very few ways to screw them up. Number one way to screw up a green bean is to make it into a green bean casserole, because they taste like green bean casserole, for me personally, tends to taste like cigarette ashes. So I don't prefer it, but I do love green beans a whole lot. Randy, what you got as your number one?
My number one is cinnamon rolls. My aunt had like a bakery, or she's just a baker in general. She's like, well, my whole family does cooking, but she's the top tier, like Mary Berry, but from Southeast Missouri, and she had a bakery, and
That's
she was making them long before that. But they're like, you can't see it, but like 4 inches tall,
yeah,
and just enormous. And it's another one where like you got to eat them right out of the oven, because it's just, the fluff just doesn't stay if you eat them a week later, which any baked good, I guess. But if you eat them right away, she would make them every morning. She would get up at like 3 or 4 in the morning to be open by like 6 or 7, and they're incredible. And she would make, like, before she had the shop, she would just make them for like businesses that wanted to have like a whatever that day, and they needed something to bring. And they are enormous, and they're wonderful. And yeah, I say I've never had like out of a can, like Pillsbury ones, just obviously don't hold up to a homemade one. But
it's true.
Yeah, like Cinnabon has nothing on hers.
Now, Randy, I don't know if you know this about me, because we haven't known each other for very long, but I am a slut for a cinnamon roll. You hit me 2 for 2. I will eat so many cinnamon rolls, I will make myself sick. I cannot get enough of a good cinnamon roll. That same potato donut, or that potato, Jesus Christ, that same donut dough that we make our donuts out of is the donut dough, or I can't speak. I'm so excited about cinnamon rolls. That donut dough we make our homemade donuts out of is the same recipe we make our cinnamon rolls out of. And they are fire, like bomb.com, so good. But it's hard to go wrong with the cinnamon roll, and fresh homemade cinnamon rolls just blow store-bought out of the water every single time. And I can imagine how incredible that is for you. Landy, what do we got in chat?
All right. Rob Chantel Gibbons, number one, is a tie between his wife's spaghetti and his smoked whole chicken wings.
Oof. For me personally, spaghetti wins. It's my favorite food. But a good smoked chicken wing is top tier for chicken wings. Delicious. Absolutely. Especially with a nice dry rub on it. Get in my mouth.
Mm-hmm. CJ Loveladies, number one, pepperoni, pineapple, jalapeno, and mushroom calzones.
That is a very pleasing collection of flavors. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Is it in Parks and Rec? Is the food that I can't think of his name? Is it
Ben Wyatt?
Is
it calzones or is it
calzones?
Okay, I was going to say it was stromboli earlier, but I was like, I don't know if that's it.
Yeah. When they go out for his bachelor party, they all get sick afterwards, and he's like, "It was the calzones."
Kelvin Cately's number one is smoked collard greens and turkey necks.
Now we are getting down into the very deep levels of soul food, and I unfortunately am way too white to know whether that is good or not. And I apologize, Kelvin. That's on me.
Neck bones are so good.
I've not had and I'm honorarily black. My brother is black, but I've not had the pleasure of eating that delicious concoction of foods you're talking about there. And I will have to ask my brother Maka if that's an option, because he's having a wedding reception very soon where there will be a lot of foods that I probably have never tried, and so I'm looking forward to that.
It sounds like an excellent combination. Neck bones are delicious. Collard greens are delicious.
Yeah, no, it sounds good. I just have no frame of reference for it, and that's on, like I said, that's on me.
Nor necks.
Yeah,
oxtails or turkey necks. Never had those.
Space Boys, number 1. My mom's anise cookies. She makes them for Christmas every year. I'm not a black licorice person, but something about these cookies just taste like home.
You lose me at anise flavoring, absolutely, hands down. Back when I was a bartender, anise cocktails, absolutely, I'm out. No, I did not enjoy absinthe. Nothing that had star anise in it. Black licorice it curls my tongue up. I'd rather eat pea gravel than anything black licorice. It's a no for me, but I respect your candor.
I don't know if I've ever had anything with anise. Is anise in Chinese five spice?
I have no idea.
Okay. I think it might be. So I've never had it like on its own. But if it's in that, I've had that before.
But black licorice is anise flavoring.
Okay.
They are identical in flavor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They probably wouldn't be into it. But as a cookie, maybe, because it's, I don't know. It sounds good from the description, but we'll have to see.
Yeah. Jennifer Johnson's number 1, my baked ziti. I taught myself to make it, and it's a dinner staple at my house now. No one has died, so I call it a win.
The kids, I was discussing my list with my children, and my son wanted me to put Ben says star anise is Chinese, is in Chinese. My kids wanted me to put my lasagna on the list, and while I do think our lasagna is very, very good, it's basically a lasagna. Like, it's a lasagna. You get exactly what you expect to get out of a lasagna when I make a lasagna. It's delicious. It's great. Flavors are great. But I don't know that it stacks up to what anyone else could also do. But you throwing that ziti on that list, I'm down. I'm down to try it. Bring it for the pancake bake-off. We'll eat pancakes for breakfast and ziti for dinner. I'll make Italian beefs. Everybody's life will be changed. I'm excited.
I'm down.
What else we got?
Marbles, number 1. Chocolate-covered peanut butter balls. It's Skippy peanut butter, Rice Krispies, butter, and powdered sugar smooshed together and rolled into a ball, dipped in wax chocolate.
My family does a similar thing for Christmas. Usually we call them peanut butter balls. I've also heard them referred to as Buckeyes. But we don't do Rice Krispies. That's my first time seeing Rice Krispies in the recipe. And honestly, that seems like it would be a market improvement over the standard peanut butter ball recipe. We do Jif peanut butter in my house, though, not Skippy. Peanut butter is peanut butter, but at the end of the day, we're a Jif family. It's not that big of a deal, but it kind of is. I love a Crunch bar. I love a Mr. a Crackle bar, the other brand's version. CJ says Peter Pan for the win. I think they're all viable options. It's just I come from a Jif household. But I do think the addition of Rice Krispies in that recipe may be a future edition the next time we make them. Maybe not all of them. I might do traditional and then some with the Rice Krispies. I'll let you know. I'll report back and let you know how they went for us.
Yeah, my dad used to make a very similar recipe. He sort of stopped making them a while ago. Never used Rice Krispies, but made a whole bunch of other Rice Krispie treats, chocolate-covered Rice Krispies and the like, but never decided to mash Buckeyes with them.
What else we got, Landy? Damn choosy moms. You got me, CJ. I am a choosy mom.
Claire Stewart's number 1. Dad's Club sandwiches with his sauce, but also at a tie with my Smom's casserole.
Smom is Katrina. She's stepmom, so the kids call her Smom. And that chicken club sandwich, I made a remoulade that, and this was just a couple of days ago, that was insane. It was insanely good. And I just like whipped that sucker up, but my God, was it good. Good choices, Claire. Anything else? Is that all of our number ones?
Billy's.
We have Billy's. I'm going to give it my full attention.
Billy Rhodes, number 1. My cousin GW's Bloody Caesar recipe. A Bloody Caesar is like a Bloody Mary, but instead of using tomato juice, you use clamato juice. His are very savory with a spicy horseradish flavor and a nice salty seafoody finish, so you know it's healthy with all the omega-3s. It is truly the breakfast of champions.
Hey, start your day off with vodka. Great choice there, Billy. Your mom's superior. I don't even know what that means. Marvel's got me wanting to move these peanut butter balls or make these peanut butter balls. Anyway, Jif is superior. Jennifer Johnson, totally agree. My number 1, and I will fight you over this, Landon. Peter Pan doesn't have a mom. Funny. I will fight you over this, Landon, but it is my dad's cheesecake. Now, locally, Cape Girardeau has a restaurant called My Daddy's Cheesecake, but their cheesecakes are bunk compared to my dad's actual cheesecake. It gets a delicious, and if you're not familiar with it, you might like, oh, that sounds gross. It gets a delicious layer of sour cream topping on top of it. Underneath that is a delicious New York style lemon cheesecake that will cause you to curl your toes up. It is so good. Your eyeballs will roll into the back of your head, and you will wonder why you have never enjoyed food the way that you will enjoy this cheesecake. It will change your life. You will start begging me to make you one, because that's what happens every time I make one for somebody. My dad used to, it was a Zen ritual. He'd get up early in the morning. He'd start his cheesecake preparations. It'd take him many hours. He'd cook them to the perfect consistency, and then we would chill them overnight and take them to somebody's house the next day. And it would be like we were unveiling pure gold food for everyone to take home and consume. Is it ambrosia? I don't know. I don't know what the Greek gods were eating prior to my dad coming up with this cheesecake recipe, but I bet it's not as good. This is probably the finest thing you will ever put in your mouth. That includes Landon. But we make them sparingly, and we've never, my sister and I both make them, and we've never achieved my dad's level of deliciousness, but we still blow people away with the recipe. Yeah, there's just nothing else like it. And he would make them like once a year, usually at Christmas, maybe twice a year if somebody begged him. But other than that, you had to wait all year long to get some of this cheesecake. And yeah, it'll change your life if you ever get a chance to have it. But anyway, so that is all of our items on our top or of our favorite recipes that our family makes better than anyone else. Next week for our hit list, we are doing our 5 favorite artists. This can be artists from any genre, whether that's comic books, authors, whether that's visual artists like painters like Van Gogh or Leonardo da Vinci, whether we're talking about recording artists. It is your 5 favorite artists next week on the hit list. But for this week, this has been the hit list.
Oh, but real quick, one last minute number 1.
Oh.
Ben Stewart's My Tacos. I don't even like Mexican food, but I know how to make it.
He does make delicious tacos.
Hit list. I've pressed the video like 3 times. It's not playing.
It'll kick in like randomly. What is happening here? You still have the Wi-Fi on. Do it again.
You run a tight ship here.
Welcome back to the show. So this has been the show for the week. Thank each and every one of you for tuning in. We could not do the show without you. Big shout out to Kelvin Cately, and the rest of the Dat Feelin' Podcast Network. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for letting us join you on your network. We love and appreciate each and every one of you. We could not do the show without you guys. Thank you so much for joining us, being part of the hit list, being part of what we do, and making this show worth making. Thank you for giving Randy such a warm welcome. Randy, thank you for being here as well. I look forward to a long future of us being absolute chuckle fucks week in and week out. Landon, thank you for your time in the chair. You are the second technical director this show has had, and you elevated the position so much in the time that you were in it. You've gone from being some random kid that I met one time to being one of my closest friends, and I love and appreciate you, and I am going to miss seeing you every week sitting down here in the basement with me. Landon, you got anything you want to say to the nice people?
I mean, this position has really done a lot for me in my life. I would even say this has helped shape some of my life since I've begun, and I'm eternally grateful for it. I really am. But beyond just gushing about that, and honestly how excited I am to be a host, even though I feel as though my responsibilities will lower substantially. Randy, good luck. I have nothing more to say, but thank you all for talking to me, welcoming me, and just all the support and everything.
And Randy, for your first time in Cutting Edge Hero history, do you have anything you'd like to say to the nice folks?
I'm happy to be here and look forward to flubbing many aspects of it, but I guess that's all part of it.
It's okay. A friend of mine said something about buying a cattle prod and letting me borrow it. I may have that on hand for the show next week when you're running things. No promises, though. But anyway, from all of us here, you guys have been incredible, and we've been Cutting Edge Hero.
See y'all.